A very good morning to all my students. So I welcome you for today's revisionary class for registration of charges. I hope you all have revised it well, and today we are going to have a quick recap of all the provisions of registration of charges of Companies Act. Good morning, Om Krishnam Gupta. Good morning, Bhumika, Khushbu, Rishabh Gupta, all of you. And let me check the students who have joined with us on the admin portal also. Good morning, all of you children. So I hope you have revised your previous lecture well regarding acceptance of deposits. And now we'll be moving ahead with registration of charges. So with this note, let's start the class. So first of all, what is the meaning of the word charge? What are we actually going to understand in this chapter? That is very, very important. So since it's a revision class, I'll be asking more questions to you rather than telling you what it means, because you have already done these provisions once, and today we're going to quickly revise it in this 2.5 hours class. All right. So why there is a relevance of this chapter? What is the meaning of this chapter, registration of charges? So before starting with the definition of charge, let us understand. Okay, good morning, Swati. Swati has just joined. So just before going to the definition of charge, it is important to understand that this chapter talks about the registration of charges. So whatever charges has been created, what is a charge? Ma'am will tell you in a while. But before knowing that what is a charge, you have to understand the relevance of chapter number 6 of Companies Act. This chapter specifically tells you that whenever any charge is created, any security is given against any loan or borrowing, that needs to be get registered with ROC. So the name of the chapter itself talks about the registration of charges. So the topic starts from definition of charge. Then what is the duty to register charges? Section 77 to section 87 deals with this topic. Section 2, clause 16 specifically talks about the definition of charge. Remember when we were doing preliminary, that time I told you all these definitions, they'll be coming one by one in their respective chapters. And in those chapters, we'll be doing them in detail. So this definition we have done in preliminary chapter also. And today we are going to understand what is the meaning of the word charge at length. So first we'll be doing the meaning, then we'll be doing section 77. That is, it is the duty of the company to get this charge registered. How the application has to be maintained with ROC, what is the number of days to be given, how the process and compliance needs to be done, that is given under section 78. Section 80 to 87 are very, very simple. Section 80 tells about date of notice of charge. What is the main date on which the charge will be considered to be registered? 81 and 85 talks about the register of charges. You remember I did MGT with you, Management and Administration. We talked about so many registers, maintaining the register of members, register of foreign companies. Similarly, the register for charges is also to be maintained and preserved for a period of 8 years. So that is what we'll understand in section 81 and 85. Then section 82 and 83 means satisfaction of charge. So first we are going to, we won't be talking about the creation of charge, how the charge is created. This chapter does not speak about that. It tells you that once the charge has been created, it needs to get registered with ROC. How the application process of registering will be happening and what happens in section 82 and 83. It tells you about the satisfaction of charge. That means now your money and loan is repaid. Your property against which charge has been created has now been made free. What are the compliance procedure for the same? And the last section 86 and 87 deals with the extension for the time period that you are requesting to CG. If you have made any omission or misstatement, what will be the punishments, how the rectification entries can be made, all that we'll be understanding in section 87, 86 and 87. Along with this, children, we'll be learning around 7 to 8 forms. I'll try to show you the forms also in the class. Chapter number 6 regarding registration of charges, all the forms you should learn. Like I told you, DPT 1, 2, 3, they were so simple. DPT 4, we have seen the forms in the class. So when you have smaller number of forms, I request you all to learn those forms. In corporation prospectus, I understand there are too many forms. So you can try learning them, but at least these chapters, registration of charges and deposits and dividend, which are just small chapters, you should learn all these forms also. So charge means an interest or lien created on the property or assets of company or any of its undertaking. Now, what does it mean? Let's do the definition of charge. It says it's an interest or it's a lien. You know the meaning of lien? Sale of Goods Act, our old provisions of foundation. Lien means when you're trying to create a possession on somebody's goods. If the seller was not paid for his sale of goods that he has done, he tried to create a lien on the goods. That means now I'm not going to give you the goods if you have not paid my money. Similarly, when a company goes to a bank or any other place for asking for money, any other person asking for money, that person or bank would request company to give them certain amount of security. So for example, this is my mobile phone. I have given my mobile phone as a security to HDFC Bank and I have taken a loan of 1 lakh rupees. So mobile phone will not go for 1 lakh rupees. So say for example, for 20,000 rupees, I've borrowed the loan. And I have given, why the value of security shall be more than the amount of loan or less? You have done this in chapter of deposits. Please remind us in the class. The amount of borrowing, the amount of security along with the interest repayment shall always be more than the amount of borrowings that you have taken from the bank or any other outsiders. The amount of security shall always be more. Very good. Equal or more is also fine. Khushbu, Om Krishnam, Swati, all of you are correct. So basically, and who will do this valuation? By registered bank. So tomorrow, if I fail to pay 20,000 back to this bank, he will simply go and sell my mobile phone in the market and recover his money. This is what is the transaction of charge means. This is what is the meaning of lien. That means he's having possession. He's having a control on my goods. Or maybe I've given a gold worth rupees 1 lakh and taken a loan of 80,000 rupees from bank. So tomorrow, if I don't repay the loan back, bank will sell my gold and recover his money, whatever was the amount due, and balance he can return to the borrower. All right, so that means exercising a lien means having a control on the possession of goods. I'm having the possession in my hand because I have given you money as a security. I'm holding your goods. But what is the meaning of interest on the property? Lien you all have understood, having a possession. Interest on the property means because lien can be created on the assets, that is fixed and floating assets, any kind of debtors, creditors, debtors and your current assets. All these assets can be stock and trade. Debtors can be used as the security. Also on the property. Property means your fixed assets, land and building, plant and machinery. Now, when you have given your house as a security, for the gold and mobile, I told you, you went to the bank and you gave this mobile or you gave this watch, whatever you want to give as a security and take the loan. But if you have taken loan against the house, will you pick up your house and go and give it to the bank? No, ma'am, it's not feasible. It's not possible. Then how will he create a charge? Your title deeds, your ownership documents, these kind of documents, property papers needs to be given to the bank. That means that now the interest has been given. Whatever your interest, whatever your ownership, whatever your title deeds were related to this house, you have deposited to the bank. So there the word lien is not used. Whenever we are giving any fixed asset as a security, we use the word interest. So I hope the word interest and lien are clear to you, because when we do the definitions, we should be 100% clear about what are the terminology, what is written out there. So charge means any interest or lien created either on the property or assets of the company or any of its undertakings. Means even if I'm giving the assets of my subsidiary or holding or associates, then also it will be counted as the charge claim. So ABC Limited having DEF as its subsidiary. So ABC took loan of your company or of your undertakings or loan. So it is created as security for repayment of loan, means we have secured the assets that tomorrow if we fail to repay the loans, you can go and sell our property or other kind of having your house as a security and you're taking loan against it, or any land and building, any fixed assets, then it is known as word mortgage. When we use the word goods given as the security, then we use the word pledge. So charge includes mortgage, means mortgage is also part of the chapter of charge. So charge is more inclusive. It includes mortgage also. Is that clear? Definition of charge is clear to everyone. Now let's move about types of charges. There are two types of charges, fixed and floating charge. What is fixed charge? When I'm using the word fixed, means something which is very specific, something which is very determined, it cannot change. And what is the meaning of floating? It means variable, something keeps changing. Okay. So fixed means of permanent nature. All of you have answered correctly. Assets directly given. Floating means stock in trade. Yes, good. What is the difference between lien and mortgage? Who is this? Bhumika is asking, ma'am, what is the difference between lien and mortgage? So mortgage is the terminology which is used for the transaction that I'm taking loan from the bank and I'm giving my house as a security. Lien means when I've given my goods as a security and bank is exercising his position on my goods. He's having a lien on the goods. The lien can be a general or a specific lien. So specific lien means only if I do not repay the goods, then only he is going, only when I do not repay the borrowed money, then only he is going to sell my goods. Otherwise, he is only allowed to keep my goods. अपनी पोजीशन में रखना किसी की चीज को एज अ सिक्योरिटी का मतलब होता है लियन. Is that clear, Bhumika? Yes, Rishabh Gupta, absolutely correct. Fixed means for particular assets like land and floating means for the changing nature assets. Okay. Good, Khushbu. Okay. So a fixed charge is on the specific assets. It is of permanent nature, land and building. When the charge is created on these assets, it remains fixed. Means borrowing company is not permitted to sell these assets. Please mark this line, very, very important. It says borrowing company is not allowed to sell the assets. Now, I have given my house as a security to HDFC Bank and I took a loan of rupees 1 lakh. So my house papers, property papers, everything is lying with HDFC Bank. At the same time, I made transaction with my neighbors that if you want to purchase my house, you can purchase. So now, since I am a company, let's assume I'm a company, I'm not an individual. I'm a company. ABC company has given their property as a security. So now, if company is going to sell it to the neighboring company, they're not permitted to do that. Okay. So for that, why? Because if bank is having his charge on it now. So you have not repaid the loan. How can you sell property papers with the bank? You have to take permission from the lender if you want to do such kind of transactions. It says assets and the fixed charge can only be sold with the permission of the charge holder. Who is the charge holder? If I have taken, I'm a company ABC Limited, I have taken loan from HDFC Bank. Who is the charge holder? ABC Limited or HDFC Bank? Yes, tell me. Who is the charge holder? Very good. Swati is the first one to give correct answer. Absolutely correct. HDFC Bank is the charge holder. Yes, everyone has now given the correct answer. So who is the charge holder? Means the person in whose favor the charge has been created. Good, good, good. All of you have given the correct answer. So now I need to take permission of HDFC Bank if I need to sell this house because the charge has been created on this house. A fixed charge is vacated when money borrowed against the assets of the fixed charge is repaid in full. Now I borrowed 1 lakh rupees. I repaid in 1st December 2024. Then the charge gets over. Vacated means it gets over. Now my building is free from any charge. Now I can freely sell it. I can do whatever I want to do. It does not have any charge on my assets now. Is that clear, children? Fixed charge is absolutely clear. You can only use the asset, but you cannot sell it. But floating charge has a reverse nature. Floating charge means I am a grocery store person. I am a company. I have my own grocery stores and I have these packets of salt, sugar, chocolates, biscuits, cold drinks. And I said, I took a loan of 1 lakh from bank and I said, all these my stock in trade, I'm giving you as a security. All these raw materials, or I have certain raw materials which are to be converted into finished goods. Or the stock which is lying in my grocery store, everything I have given as a floating charge. I have created a charge against these assets. Now, law says you can sell and purchase these assets. You're freely allowed only when tomorrow you repay. You do not repay the loan. Bank will come and seize your these kind of things. They will take your stock in trade in lieu of the loan that they have given. That is what is the meaning of fluctuating or a floating charge. Now, say for example, I have 10 packets of salt in my shop when I took a loan. It will not remain the same 10 packets. I'll be selling whole salt. I'll be purchasing more from the wholesalers. I'll be selling it in the market. Or the raw materials that I have given against the security, they will be converted into finished goods. So earlier it was raw material 10 rupees. Now it is 100 rupees finished goods. So these charges, these assets keep on changing. They're of changing nature. But the charge is on present as well as future. Now 10 rupees raw material was a charge. Now 100 rupees the finished good is part of the charge. So here you can either use the goods or you can even permit it to sell the goods. In fixed charge, when my neighboring company was purchasing that house from me, and if I took permission from HDFC Bank, then that neighboring company, DEF Limited, will have to repay the loan. They get the charge also registered in their name. But this is not the case of floating charge. If I have taken a loan against all my biscuit packets, and if I sell it to Om Krishnam tomorrow comes to my shop and I sell and Khushbu. I sell all my goods to Om Krishnam and Khushbu. Do you think they both need to pay my money? They both need to pay the loan now because my floating assets are lying with them. No, ma'am. In this way, all the customers will have to bear the charge. This is not the case in floating charge because floating charge, you are permitted to use or trade the goods. Trade means you can sell them. It is my headache to repay the loan. I can sell my goods. The customer, the charge will not pass on to the customer who is buying the goods from me. But in fixed charge, you cannot sell the goods. You can only use them. In floating charge, you can use the goods. You can sell them. You can convert them into final goods. The duty to repay the loan remains on your head. Is that clear? Any doubts in fixed and floating charges? Yes, absolutely, Rishabh. The buyer will get it free of charge. Good. Raw material, stock, debtors. Great, great, great. And when you send these thumbs up, it makes me feel so happy that you have understood it well. Well done. Okay. So now let's move to another topic, that is crystallization of floating charge. What is the meaning of the word crystallization? Crystallization means freezing the charge. We have taken a loan of 1 lakh against all these grocery things that I have given as a charge. That means I have created a fixed charge or floating charge. So come on, children, tell me if I have given the charge or the security. Okay, Swati, I'll answer you this question. If I have given all the goods as a security, then is it a fixed charge or floating charge? Excellent, excellent. Bhumika, why did you say fixed charge? Then it is a floating charge. Swati, Rishabh, Om Krishnam, all of you are correct. It is a floating charge. Okay, ma'am, what in case if it doesn't repay and all the goods are sold already and all? So if you have, there is a certain amount of conditions, Swati, this is what I'm going to explain in crystallization. So your answer will get, you will get the answer once I'll explain this point. Okay. Okay. So floating charge, everybody agreed? Yes, Khushbu, that's absolutely correct. He can take the possession of the assets and the possession if the company doesn't repay the loan. Absolutely correct. So crystallization of floating charges means I have given the floating charges, all these biscuits, packets, chips, packets, salt, sugar, everything is given as a charge. But in my charge agreement that I signed with HDFC Bank, so my charge holder is HDFC Bank, from whom I have taken the loan, and I am ABC Limited Company. We have signed an agreement that whatever stock is lying in my shop, suppose I have taken a loan of 1 lakh rupees. And HDFC Bank put a condition in the agreement that whatever stock is lying in your shop, the value of the stock at any time should not go below 80,000 rupees. Just to be a little additionally sure, like Swati has asked, ma'am, what if all the goods are sold? So bank will always make sure that whatever charge I'm getting, I should be fully secured. Children, let me explain you one very interesting point, which is not actually part of this chapter, but at least additional point I want to tell you so that you understand what is the meaning of fixed and floating charge very clearly and how the bank tries to secure. So a person has a house which he has given as a security, that is a fixed charge. But that house got burned. He has already filed papers with the insurance company. Now you'll be surprised, the house was belonging to the bank. Bank had to resell it and recover the money. So whenever any charge is created, a hypothecation is created in favor of bank as if all the papers, property papers are transferred in the name of bank, that now as if bank is the owner of this house. So when bank hypothecates those assets, he becomes the owner, then all the insurance that relates to that house also goes to the bank. So now me as the owner will not be getting the insurance of those house for the insurance papers for those house. Bank will get the insurance charges also against that house because it was already insured. But how much amount is given as a security, how much amount is given as an insurance, that is not of your relevance to understand. But I'm just trying to explain you that bank makes itself 100% sure when he's giving you any kind of borrowings on. So you don't have to worry about creation of charge. That's what I started saying by this chapter. You don't have to, how the charge is created, you don't have to worry about it. Whether security has been fully given, don't worry. Bank never gives you money without getting secure. But yes, a charge can be a fixed charge and floating charge. And what happens when the bank feels unsecured, then crystallization of floating charges happen. So let's go back to the same example. So bank said that at any time ABC Limited, the stock should not fall below rupees 80,000. Now the stock of my shop went to 60,000. If you have done Indian Contract Act very nicely, you remember that whenever any agreement, terms and conditions have been signed, and if you do not fulfill them, then what do we call it? That means, ma'am, company has breached the contract. धोखा देना, ब्रीच कर दिया ना, 80,000 से नीचे नहीं जाना चाहिए था, कमिटमेंट हुई थी. Now my stock has gone up to 60,000. So I have breached the terms and conditions of contract. Now the creditor will enforce his security, means the bank will say, give my security back. Because you are ditching me, you are breaching the contract, how can I trust you? Tomorrow you will sell all of the stock, I will not get any money to recover. So he will put a freezing condition that now, from now onwards, you cannot sell these assets. Now this floating charge becomes a fixed charge. And whatever will be the value of the goods on that date, it gets freeze at that amount. Even if the value is less, it is company's headache to repay full loan. You will never be permitted as a company that, okay, my stock has been sold and now I don't have money. You cannot give those kind of excuses. Money has to be repaid. Whatever you have borrowed from the bank has to be repaid. You don't know banks, they come and sell your house. Everything can be put on auction if you don't repay the bank's money on time. So bank can take any strict kind of actions. As per RBI guidelines, also they have the actions. But from the company's point of view, we're just understanding that how the floating charge gets fixed. Number one, when you do any breach of terms and conditions, company goes into liquidation. If you did any breach, bank will come and put a hold on your stock. Kuch nahi kahega. Simple, he will say, tell you that now crystallization of floating charge is done. Now this has become a fixed charge. You cannot sell it. Freeze means now you are not allowed to sell it. Earlier you were selling it, now you cannot sell it. Or the company is going into liquidation. Company is winding up. Company is closing its shop. So you're selling off your assets and paying off the liabilities. So like this, so everything will come to an end. So bank came running and he said, ruko, liquidation mein chale jana, but my assets should be secured. Please convert them into the fixed charge. Again, on the same date on which the value of the goods, they will be becoming the fixed charge at the same time. So all these cases where the creditor enforces, means creditor wants his security back. You have not repaid the loan at the specified time. You agreed to repay it on November 23. It's December 23. You have still not repaid. Crystallization of floating charge can happen. Creditor can request for giving back his security. Is that clear? So the charge becomes fixed on all the assets available on that date. So it is known as crystallization of charges. Any doubts in fixed and floating charge or the definition of charge and crystallization of charges? Okay, good. Swati, I hope you have understood your point now. Om Krishnam, Khushbu, Khushi, all of you. Good. So let's proceed ahead. Section 77. All right, all clear. So that's wonderful. Everyone has written, ma'am, it's clear. So what is the meaning of registering the charges now? Now, children, Section 77 says it is the duty of every company to get the charge registered. Creating a charge within or outside India. What is the meaning of this line? A charge within or outside India. So the company can create a charge on the assets. Suppose I'm ABC Limited, I'm having my certain big buildings and land in Dubai. So I took loan from 1 crore rupees from HDFC Bank and I said one house in Bombay I'm giving as a security, I'm mortgaging it with you, and another house in Dubai I'm giving as a mortgage. So even the assets outside India or inside India, both the assets can be given as a security. The only point of difference is how these instrument needs to be verified. First, we'll do this slide 8 and then I'll take you back to the slide number 7. Okay. First, let me explain you about the verification of the instrument of charges. So one property I have in Mumbai, one I have in Dubai. Both the properties have been given to HDFC Bank as a security and 1 crore loan has been taken. So it says copy of every instrument. Copy of every instrument means the charge copy. Means the copy of the charge instrument deed means where the charge holder and ABC Limited will sign it. Okay, fine, we have taken a loan. It is known as the copy of instrument, which is creating the charge. It is to be filed with the registrar. And how the verification has to be done. Now it says if the property is situated outside India, then you need a certificate to be issued that there is a property which is located in Dubai. That property papers and verification papers can be signed by any of the 3 persons. Either company seal will be put on it, or the director or company secretary of the company can sign it, or any other person who is other than the company who is interested in the charge. So under the hand of some other person means any other person can sign this verification document. So you are giving the property of Dubai as a security. How will the ROC come to know? ROC needs a verification of that document. So that verification document can be signed by director or company secretary or by the company seal itself or any other person other than the company who is interested, not the company which is interested in this charge. Other than that, any other person has signed, then also it is fine. But it says if the property is situated in India, whether partially in India or fully in India, if it is in India, then it has to be signed definitely by the director, company secretary, or any other authorized officer of the charge. So any of them definitely needs to sign it. You don't have to put just the company seal or any other person can sign. Here, director and CS is compulsory. When the property is outside India, then director, CS or any other person can sign. When the property is situated in India, regarding Mumbai property, it was partially in India, partially in Dubai, then also the Indian copy of verification has to be signed by the director or company secretary or any other authorized person of the charge holder. Who is the charge holder? HDFC Bank, uska authorized person bhi verification के documents को sign कर सकते. Any problem in verification of instrument of charge? Clear? So now we have got the instrument also verified, the document on which the charge has been created, whether inside or outside India, whether tangible and otherwise. What is the meaning of tangible or otherwise? Can we give intangible assets as a security? What does registration of charges tell us? Can we give intangible assets also as a security? Yes, ma'am, we can give intangible assets also as a security. Very good. Intangible assets can also be given as a security. Why? Because in deposits, we have understood correctly that only the tangible assets can be given. But here it tells you clearly it is talking about any of the charge. It's not just talking about the deposits, any goodwill, patents, copyrights. All of you have written down it correctly. Anything can be given as a security, whether situated in India or outside India. And this charge has to be registered within how many days, children? Within 30 days of its creation. And what is the form that we are going to use for registering the charges? CHG1 for other than debentures and CHG9 in case of debentures. So if you are borrowing money giving security in against of the debentures issued, debenture is also kind of borrowing. You have done it in section 72. Or if you're in case of any other kind of security, if you are giving as a security in CHG, one form needs to be given, and for debentures, CHG9 form needs to be given. And within how many days? 30 days of its creation of the charge, it needs to be filed with the ROC. Following charges will be registered in India or outside India. Property can be in India or outside India, and it can be tangible assets or the intangible assets like trademark, financial assets like investment in shares and debentures can also be given as a security. Trademark, copyright, goodwill, all these things can be given as a security. How can intangible assets change? We never talk about intangible. Oops. Yes. So, Khushbu, if we say intangible assets, it says any copyrights and goodwill. So, there is a reputation which has been built over the number of years. So, that goodwill can also be given as a security. Now, again, I told you this chapter does not speak about creation of charge. It only tells you that even if the intangible assets has been given as security, you need to get them registered. That's it. Okay. All right. Verification of instrument of charges we have done. Now let's understand what is the time period for getting the charge registered. So this time period is divided into two categories. All the charges which were created before 2nd November 2018, it says the changes were made, amendment was made on 2nd November 2018. The charges which were created before this date, they need to be filed with the registrar within 30 days of its creation. And if it had not been filed within 30 days, then extra 270 days were given that, okay, you can pay additional fees and you can take 270 days more. So how many months, children? Around 8 to 9 months. Okay. So you can take more 9 months, more 270, but you cannot have exactly of the position of 9 months because there might be 31 days, 28 days, 30 days. So you have to remember the number of days only. So either you come and register your charge within 30 days or you will get additional 270 days in order to get your charge registered. And even if it is not registered during that time period, then 6 months time period is given from 2nd November 2018 by paying additional fees, you can get your charge registered. So this was the time period for getting the charge registered if you have created the charge on and before 2nd November 2018. But what if the charge has been created after 2nd November 2018? Now this is important for you because now presently we are in the scenario of 2nd November 2018. This before 2nd November 2018 was an old provision. But since it is given in the books, it is mentioned in the act, we should know about the provisions. So examiner can also ask you what were the provisions before 2nd November 2018. So it was 30 days or 300 days from the date of creation. So when I say 300 days from the date of creation, that means additional 270 days were given. But what about the charge created after 2nd November 2018? Then the charge shall be registered within 30 days by paying the normal fees. Whatever is the normal fees given in the act, you will pay that fees and get the charge registered. But if the company fails to get the charge registered in first 30 days, means 1st Jan, it has taken the borrowing. By 31st Jan, it shall get the charge registered. Is that clear? 30 days. But if it is not done till 31st Jan, then it says you can take additional 30 days. Means 60 days from the date of creation, 2nd March. It will go till 2nd March because 28 days of February and then 1st and 2nd March, then 30 days more. You will get to file it with the ROC by paying the additional fees. First, you get the charge registered in 30 days by paying the normal fees. You have still not filed it. You're not a good company. You're not obeying. You're not filing the charges with ROC. Now, law says take more 30 days. So after 2nd March, take more 30 days. By 1st of April, file your things with the... register it within a period of 60 days more. So if it is not registered in 30 days, so total 120 days they are giving. They're giving you total of 120 days, around 4 months for getting the charge registered. But they're not simply giving you 120 days. The first 30 days by paying a normal fees. Not registered, the next 30 days by paying the additional fees. Still not registered, additional 60 days are given to register the charge by paying ad valorem fees. So what is the meaning of ad valorem fees, children? Please tell me. What do you understand by the word ad valorem fees? What is the meaning of the word ad valorem? All of you have to tell me. It's in proportion, the fees which is charged in proportion to the amount of the loan that you have taken. Let me show you something which is really nice and beautiful. Institute has created such a nice summary for all of you for referring. I'll show you. So this is Saransh, which is given on your website. You can also refer to this for referring to the small summaries of the chapters which is given. It is just a ready reckoner. And if you just want to have a quick flip through your pages, what is given in the syllabus, then you can refer to the Saransh also. It's given on the BOS website. This is your accounts of company. Let me take you to the chapter number 6, registration of charges. Yes. So this is your chapter number 6 of registration of charges. See how beautifully they have given you the definition of charge. So interest and lien created on property, it is a security, it includes mortgage, all these things that we have done. Then fixed and floating charge, notice of the charge will be from the date of registration, such an important line. When does the charge gets noticed? From the date of registration of the charges. Process for registering before 2nd November, you have been given 30 and 270 additional days. And if it is after 2nd November, then 30 days by paying the normal fees, then next 30 days by paying the additional fees, or by 60 days by paying the ad valorem fees. So ad valorem fees is the proportionate value. For example, your GST is in kind of ad valorem, adding on the basis of the volume of the transactions. So if we charge GST 18%, depends upon the how much is the bill. If the bill is 200, then 18% of 200. If the bill is 50,000, then 18% of 50,000. So whatever is the value of the bill, accordingly the percentage rate would be charged. So that is your ad valorem fees. Certain percentage is given of the fees, and that fees depends upon the value of the loan that you have taken. All right. So this is the colorful slides I wanted to show you from this BOS live studies. You can refer to them also whenever you have time, because it also helps to give you a nice brief summary about the syllabus that you have done with us. Now, procedure for extension of time limit. So we file CHG 1 for debentures or for other calculations. Yes, Khushbu, absolutely correct. So CHG 1 is used for what, children? Debentures or for others? Hurry up, tell me. For others, very good. And what is the form number CHG 9? What does CHG 9 tells you? CHG 9 is the form which is used for security given against the debentures. That ROC with the form which is to be used for registering with the ROC is CHG 9 form, and for others it is CHG 1 form. Now, CHG 1 form contains about all the details about the property or assets which have been given as a security. And once the charge is registered with ROC, ROC will issue you CHG 2 form as a fresh certificate of registration. So you file CHG 1 for others, for debentures you file CHG 9. What is ROC going to give you? ROC will give you CHG 2 form. So simple, you gave 1, he gives you 2. You gave 1, he gives you 3 also at times. So what is CHG 3 form? That is used for modification of charges. Modification will be covering the whole topic from the study also, because various types of modification are given. As of now, just understand CHG 2 form. So it says CHG 2 where the charge is registered under section 77 or section 78. There CHG 2 is given, which is the conclusive evidence that the company has complied all the compliance. CHG 3 chhod do abhi, don't go into CHG 3. You file CHG 1, you get CHG 2. You file CHG 9 for debentures, you get CHG 2. ROC is going to issue you CHG 2 form, that is the certificate of the registration of the charges, that this company has did all the compliance work that was required to be done for the registration of charges. And this certificate CHG 2 shows that you have got your charge registered with ROC. Okay, it is a conclusive evidence, means it concludes that the company has already filed the registration documents and the charge has got registered with us. So what does section 77 subsection 1 and section 78 talks about? Section 78 we will do abhi. I have not told you 78. So when we go to 78, you'll understand it. Now it says consequences of non-registration of the charges. So if you don't register the charge, who are you? Loan was taken from HDFC Bank. HDFC Bank is the charge holder. ABC Limited is the company. So whose duty it is to get the charge registered? ABC Limited or the HDFC Bank? It is whose duty? Absolutely correct. It is the duty of ABC Limited to get the charge registered. Well done. But children, ABC Limited forgot to get the charge registered. Now, if ABC Limited did not get the charge registered, let me tell you whole story first by closing the screen and then we look. So there was a company ABC Limited. It took loan from HDFC Bank for rupees 1 crore and gave their huge building property as a security. And that building was worth 5 crore rupees. Registered value did the valuation and a very huge building, let's say 2 crore rupees, has been double the value of the loan, has been given as a security. So bank was also really happy. So we are not worried. Tomorrow, if we don't repay the loan, we'll sell this 2 crore building. We'll recover our 1 crore balance. We'll give it back to the borrowing company. You cannot take more than the value of the loan that you have given. But yes, you feel very happy when you're secured for such a nice, good amount. So now, yes, Khushi, that's absolutely correct. So ABC Limited, it is his duty. You just wrote in the chat box, yes, ma'am, ABC Limited, it is his duty under section 77 to get this charge registered with ROC. So before we proceed further, there are two types of securities which are given, two types of loan that we take from the companies or banks. One is a secured loan and another is unsecured loan. So if I give as a security, means it's a secured loan. So bank is secured. Tomorrow, if you don't repay, he'll sell your property. But if bank has given 1 crore of unsecured loan, then there is always a risk on the side of bank that tomorrow, if company winds up, it will first try to get the secured creditors paid, and then whatever is left is given to the unsecured people. So unsecured creditor is always at the last who will be paid whenever the company pays off all the dues. So now this secured charge, but in our question, we're always giving a security. So this security needs to get registered with the ROC. Then only we feel that it is a secured charge. If company fails to get it registered in 30 days, then no worries, do it in next 30 days. Still not done. Do it in next 60 days by paying the ad valorem fees. Company did not register in all these 120 days. As per section 77 subsection 1, whatever the time period was there, company did not register. Now, since company has not registered this charge, so the charge which has been created, the security which has been created becomes the unsecured borrowing. Because secured to tabhi hoga na when you will intimate the ROC and you get the charge registered by filing CHG 1 or CHG 9. But law says if you have not registered your charges, then whatever charges has been created against the bank will become unsecured. Have you understood? And then even if you keep cribbing that I have given the charge, I have given the security, my money should be paid first. It says no charge created by the bank shall not be accounted by any of the liquidator. Liquidator of the company who is appointed under the Companies Act or Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code, or any other person who is duly registered, and then he will say that this security which is not registered with the ROC will be considered as unsecured. He will not take it into consideration, means he will not pay the money back to those people who have already taken a secured money. They will also be counted as the unsecured creditors. And another important consequence of non-registration is that the charge holder loses his priority, because now he will not be given his money first. Now, first the money will go to those whose charge has been registered, who are secured creditors. So he loses his priority over this. All right. So I hope you all have understood till here. Okay. Anyone wants to ask any doubts under section 77? No doubts? Okay, so I give you good. Everyone has written clear. So just go through all these terms about CHG1, CHG9 and CHG2 from the study material, and after a small break, then we'll proceed ahead. Let's take a small break here and then we will continue the chapter. But till then, please read the study material for the topics in section 77. All right, students, welcome back. Extension of time limit 1 table, Khushbu is saying. Okay, Khushbu, I'll just explain you. Any other doubts? Anyone wants to ask anything? You can raise your hands also. So, Khushbu, are you asking about this procedure for the extension of time limit? So, it says wherever you have company is required to make the application to ROC. That is clear. CH1 or CH9, that is clear. For seeking the extension of time, this needs to be supported by a declaration signed by a company secretary or director that such latent filing will not adversely affect the intervening creditors of the company. So say, for example, I am a company ABC Limited. I have taken first loan from HDFC Bank. Then I took loan from SBI Bank. In return to HDFC Bank, I have given my house as a security. The same house was given with a pari passu charge to SBI. Remember pari passu charge we did in acceptance of deposits chapter, or maybe for the second charge I have given to SBI Bank. Now one charge against HDFC was created on 1st July and the charge against SBI was created on 1st August. Within 30 days the charge needs to be filed. So by 31st August, I filed this charge of SBI with ROC, but I forgot to file the charge of HDFC Bank. Now, you know, if HDFC charge is not filed by 31st July, then you can do it in next 30 days by paying the additional fees or in next 60 days by paying the ad valorem fees. This is known as extension of time. So whenever I want to take this extended time period in order to file my charge for HDFC Bank, law says the charge of SBI Bank intervening creditors means जो बीच में creditors create हुए हैं उनके charge को ये extension of time affect नहीं कर सकता. Means the right that has been given to the SBI Bank will still be with him even if HDFC Bank's charge is seeking for the extension of time. Number one thing. Number two thing, it says the loses its priority wali line, the second point, where the consequences of non-registration I was explaining. So HDFC Bank gave us money first. We forgot to register its charge. SBI gave money later. We got his charge registered. Now, whenever the property will be sold, SBI will first get the money on that because they have got their charge first registered. Now, either me as a company went, and if company fails to go, how the charge holder gets the charge registered, this is what we're going to do in the next talk. But once your charge is registered and the other charge which is not registered, even if you have taken money prior to them, they will lose their priority. One is this thing, consequences of non-registration. Another thing is that if I'm asking for the extension of time period, whosoever from whom I have taken the loan, they will not get affected by this. Is that clear, beta? I hope it's clear now. All right. Anybody else having any doubts? Okay. So now let's proceed further. So if I have filed for the registration of charges, okay, good. All of you have sent beautiful, nice comments as well as thumbs up. So thank you. So if I say that I have filed the charge with CHG1 and CHG9, what is the certificate that ROC will issue back to the company in order to prove that the charge has now been registered? Or you can say, what is the form issued by ROC for the fresh registration certificate of charges? In which form it is issued? CHG2. Excellent, Swati. Why bank do not take CHG2 first and then issue loan amount? Abhishek saying your doubt is not clear. You're talking about CHG2. Bank is not issuing CHG2. CHG2, charge 2 you're saying. Why bank do not take charge 2 first and then issue loan amount? Okay, Abhishek saying, I will explain you this point. But we are talking about CHG forms, and look at the short form that you have written, huh? CHG2. That is the font about which I'm talking. All right, good. So Swati is the only one to tell the correct answer that ROC will issue CHG2 form. What about others? ROC will issue CHG2 form. Yes, Om Krishnam, now you're speaking. Bhumika, everyone. CHG2 form will be issued by ROC saying that this is the fresh certification issued for the fresh certification of charges registration. That the charge is registered under section 77 or section 78. Okay, Abhishek Singh, you're asking why the bank will not take the second charge. Means if I have taken the loan from a bank, HDFC Bank, and you remember I told you pari passu, you can take a charge against same property with another charge holder also by creating a pari passu charge. Pari passu means if 50,000 loan has been taken from HDFC, 70,000 loan has been taken from SBI, and the property that has been given is worth of more than the amount of both of them. So let's assume 2 lakh rupees. Then 5:7 ratio, the amount will be paid if it is a pari passu charge. So any bank which is taking the property as a charge, which they knew that the charge has already been created, this is something which I'll be explaining you in section 80 and 81, that how the charge is mentioned on the MCA portal. It is the duty of the lender to check whether the property is already secured or not. So I told you, banks are much more careful whenever they are giving you money as a security. They will make 100% sure that we are secured. All right, everyone clear upon this? Now let's move to a very interesting section, section number 78. I will be showing you 3 to 4 forms also. After this topic, we will see the forms, okay? CHG, section 78. It says, it will be starting from here, this point. The company creating the charge, the third point in the first row. The company in the first column. Company creating a charge must register the said charge. So when you are a company, ABC Limited, in 30 days, you shall go and get the charge registered against the HDFC Bank. Everyone is clear. Now, company fails to do that in first 30 days. Company did not got the charge registered. It forgot. It was so busy on another filing and all. They did not register. I told you if the company fails to register the charge, then the security will become unsecured. Means no charge created by the company will be taken in the account to the liquidator. Liquidator means if the company goes into liquidation. Now, what happens when the company goes into winding up and liquidation? First, the secured creditors are paid and then the unsecured creditors. And HDFC Bank went running to them. Look, my charge was secured. Please pay me money now, liquidator. Liquidator will say, hello, your charge is not registered with ROC. So go and stand at the back with the unsecured creditors. First, we will pay to the secured creditors. Then amount will be paid to the unsecured creditors. He will not be given the money if there is no money left in the security, out of the security. But that does not mean that the bank will not get the loan repaid. Bank का पैसा तो company को चुकाना ही पड़ेगा. You will have to repay the loan. But out of that security, let's assume this is the security. This security, after selling whatever amount I'm getting out of the security, this will first go to the secured creditors. And if fully has been involved with the secured creditors, then unsecured creditors will be paid in out of other funds, not out of that security. So that is the meaning of if the charge is not registered, I become unsecured creditor, HDFC will become unsecured creditor. So that's why section 78 has been made. Charge holder will go and get the registration done. He will say, okay, fine company, you failed to do it and tomorrow I will only be in trouble if my charge is not registered. So he will give a notice to the registrar that this is the security that the company is giving me. Please get this charge registered with my name. He will go to the ROC. Now ROC will say, who are you? I don't know you. Let me ask the company whether actually any amount of loan has been taken from HDFC Bank or not. So the registrar will give a notice to ABC Limited. मेरे पास notice भेजेगा registrar. I am ABC Limited. He will send me the notice कि Harleen ma'am, your company, have you borrowed any money from HDFC Bank? Have you given your house in Mumbai as a security to HDFC Bank? So now I have two options. Either the company will go and get the charge registered themselves, or registrar will say that give me a show cause notice. If you have any objection, you can raise that objection within a time period of 14 days. Within a time period of 14 days, registrar will say, give us a show cause notice in 14 days. Either company, you come and get the charge registered. And if you feel that HDFC Bank is doing any kind of fraud, you have not given any security, then please give us the show cause notice, give us the reasons. And if you give us such reasons, we will not register this charge. And if company reply in 14 days and give the reasons, charge will not be registered. And if company remains silent, no objection is received, registrar will register the charge within 14 days. And if the objection is received, company registers the charge itself or give a sufficient reason that it should not be registered, then registrar will not allow the registration of charges by the charge holder. Have you understood? Let's have a quick recap of section 78. Number one, company did not register the charges. Company fails to do that. It is the duty of company. Company fails to do that. Who will go then? Charge holder will go to the registrar for getting the charge registered. Registrar will send the notice to the company. Then it have two options. Either raise the objection and stop the charge not to be given, or get the charge register yourself. If the company get the charge register itself or give a notice that this charge should not be registered, then ROC will not register this charge. But if no objection is received in 14 days, then registrar will register this charge within a period of 14 days after giving notice to the company. So they will give the notice to the company, and in next 14 days, they will register the charge. Everyone clear on this? Now let's read the last line which is written over here, recovery of fees. Now who was supposed to pay the fees and additional fees? Company was supposed to pay. If company does not register the charge in 30 days, then in next 30 days, the company pays additional fees or ad valorem fees. Please answer me. What kind of fees company will have to pay? Children, this is your revision going on. Things should be on your tips by now. Absolutely correct. Those who have answered, additional fees. Yes, Swati, he will wait for that additional time also, but whenever he has a doubt, he will quickly go and file the papers with the registrar himself also. That's why I've explained you what can be the doubt, what can be the reason. He might be facing the risk of remaining unsecured. Okay. Khushbu, why did you say fixed fees? I'm asking whether additional fees or ad valorem fees. So yes, additional fees can be a fixed fees. That is also fine. Okay. That's fine. That's fine. So additional fees will be paid for the next 30 days. I've still not registered in next 30 days. Then what will happen, children? First 30 days, normal fees. Next 30 days, additional fees. Still not registered the charge. Then what will happen? Ad valorem fees for how many days, Om Krishna? Company will get 60 more days to get the charge registered by paying ad valorem fees. Good, good, good. Rishabh, Swati, all of you, good. Bhumika, good. What about the students at the portal? Are they answering or not? Okay. All of you have given the correct answers, children. 60 more days by paying the ad valorem fees. Now, but here we are talking about paying off the additional fees. Now, you did not go and get the charge registered. A charge holder, HDFC Bank, will have to pay all the additional fees and get this charge registered. Don't you think HDFC Bank can recover this money from the company? He will say, they will tell the company it was your duty. Why? That's why they're saying that it is the duty of company. Company की responsibility है. आपका काम है charge को register करा लो. वो तो आपने करा नहीं. तो मैं इसलिए जाकर अब charge को register करवा रहा हूँ. So whatever fees I'm paying, additional fees now charge holder is paying, he can recover whatever fees and amount has been paid by him to the registrar. He can recover it from the company. So examiner can give you such kind of questions. There was a company PQR Limited. Dates will be given 1st July. Failed to the charge was created. Failed to got the charge registered by 31st July. What can happen? Section 78 applies. Charge holder will go and get the charge registered. Hold the story on the flowchart. You will have to write it down in PowerPoints and explain it. Second question will be, can HDFC Bank recover the fees paid? They will give you the fees. Fees of 20,000 was paid. Additional expenditures were done by the charge holder HDFC Bank to get this charge registered. Can they recover it from the company? Simple line, yes. ये दो लाइनें जो नीचे लिखी हैं आपने लिखना है. Yes, in case the registration is done by the application made by the charge holder, then this person can recover from the company any amount of fees or additional fees paid to the registrar for the purpose of registration of charges. Now, if it is of 2 marks, this second part of the question, I would expect students to write it the same line, the way law has written the line. Children, many a times you keep asking me, ma'am, can we express it in our own words? So see, for this simple line, if I want to express it in my own words, it will be, yes, you can recover. But the marks will be given to those who are writing in a legal language. It is a very simple line. If you have understood the meaning, it becomes very easy for you to learn it and write it. So learning is a very essential part of law. Specifically, when you're talking about law paper, you have to grab the things like anything. Everything should be working in your mind in a very nice way. Okay? So you have to be very quick with all these kind of things. Just give me 1 second. There is some internet issue. Just all right, students. I think there was some error over there. I hope I'm audible to all of you. All right. So this is what I was telling you. Certain kind of things where legal language is mandatory, you must write it in the same way. Okay. So any doubts in section 77 till section 78 or the definition, anything? Otherwise, we can proceed further. All right. Acquisition of property subject to charge and modification of charge, section 79. Now let's move to section number 79. It says provisions of section 77. What were the provisions of section 77, children? It says provisions of section 77. What was 77? We have done 77 and 78. You told me, ma'am, no doubts. Now tell me, what is 77? Yes, all of you have given it correctly. Section 77 is the duty of the company to register the charge. And what was section 78? What was section 78? If charge is not registered by the company, charge holder can make an application. Registration done by the charge holder. Very good, excellent. So now 79 tells you that provisions of 77 relating to registration of charges shall apply to a company acquiring any property subject to a charge within the meaning of that section. Means you can use that property subject to the charge. If somebody is buying that property, now I told you ABC Limited has taken loan of 1 lakh from HDFC Bank and they have given a land worth rupees 50,000, land worth rupees 2 lakh as a security. Now they are selling that property of 2 lakhs to to PQR Limited. Now it says provisions of section 77 will apply to a company who is acquiring, means PQR Limited, who is purchasing this property against which the charge has been created. Now it is his duty to get this charge registered in his name by filing an application to the ROC. I told you when I started this chapter with you that fixed charge cannot be sold, but it can only be sold with the permission of charge holder. So ABC Limited would have gone to HDFC Bank. They would have told them that now I'm selling my house, my security to them. Can you allow me? They will pay my loan back to you. So he said, PQR Limited told HDFC Bank, okay, I'm ready to pay the loan back. But again, then it is his responsibility now. It's PQR's Limited's responsibility to get the charge registered in the same way as we register under Section 77. Means now PQR Limited will file form number CHG1 with ROC within 30 days of creation of charge. Point clause A clear to everyone? Clause number B. Any modification made, or we are not selling the property, but the terms and conditions of the charge has now changed. Earlier, HDFC Bank has charged me the rate of 18%. Now he's saying you have to pay me at the rate of 19%. Earlier, there was time period, 5 years, the loan needs to be repaid. Now he said, now you can repay in 5.5 years. So whatever the terms and conditions, modification means variation. Any changes happening in the terms and conditions, including the changes in the rate of interest, then again, Section 77 will be applicable. So ma'am, what is Section 77? We have already applied Section 77, duty of the company to get the charge registered. But now it says, first you got the charge registered, ROC issued you CHG2 form, that is fresh certificate of registration. Now again, if you're doing any changes in the terms and conditions of my loan, you have filed it with the ROC. Now you're changing the terms and conditions, the time period is getting changed, or the rate of interest is getting changed, or any other variation, or you're selling the property to somebody else. Then again, you need to file CHG1 or CHG9 in case of debentures. And in case of such modification, ROC will issue you a certificate of modification in CHG3 form. ROC will now issue you the certification in CHG3 form. Now this picture will come clear to you. That is where Section 77 we have read, where the charge or modification is registered with the ROC. ROC will issue CHG2. Can you see the underlined line? CHG2 is the fresh certificate of registration. Or if there is any modification, then CHG3 is the modification of charges certification. And all these certificates are the conclusive evidence that the company has complied with all the requirements of the company's registration of charges. Is that clear, children? So when CHG 1 and 9 is issued, 1 or 9 is issued, ROC will give you CHG 2. When again for modification, if CHG 1 or 9 is issued, then ROC will give you, please fill in the blanks, dash. ROC will issue which certificate for the modification of charges? Please answer. Absolutely correct. CHG 3 form. All of you have given the correct answers. Khushbu, Khushi, Rishabh, Abhishek Singh. Abhishek Singh, I hope you are satisfied with your query for the first question. All of you have given the correct answer. Good. All right. Now it's time to test your knowledge. So let's have some certain round of question and answers. What do you think, children? If you feel that you really know everything, it is the time to test your knowledge. How will a copy of an instrument evidencing creation of charge required to be filed with the registrar be verified? Now, these are the same terminologies which either ICAI module has given you the questions, or it can be the questions of the examiner questions. So you have to read how the language is written. So please answer me briefly. What will be the answer to question number 1? Very nice. Only 3-4 people have answered as of now. Property in India signed by director and CS. Okay. And if the property is outside India, how will it be verified? CS or director or any other person who is other than the company who is entrusted can sign it. If it is in India, then it is compulsory that only the director and company secretary or the authorized officer of the charge holder can sign it. Absolutely correct. So the question is absolutely correct to all of you. Very well done. Briefly explain the provisions related to enforced by Companies Amendment 2nd Ordinance 2019, where the charge created before 2nd November is not registered within 30 days. Then what will happen? Now see, it has asked you specifically before 2nd November. Then what will be the time period of extension given? 30 days, 60 days, or what? Okay, let's make it like an MCQ. How many days will be given then? Excellent, Abhishek saying next 270 days by paying the additional fees. Do we need to pay ad valorem fees also? Yes or no? For this one? Very good, very good, very good. Clear. All of you are clear on this. So this is how we'll define the charge, and then you'll write down before and 270 days additional will be given, or you can also say that 300 days from the date of creation. Both the answers are correct. Then it is like explain the term charge and what is the purpose, punishment for default. So punishment we have not yet done. So when we do the topic of punishment, you'll understand. But again, the definition of charge is very clearly to be given. Let's read this question. Renuka Soaps and Detergents Limited realized on 2nd May that particulars of the charge created on 12th March in favor were not registered with the ROC. So the charge was created on 12th March. Within 30 days, it should have been registered, but on 2nd May, so April crossed, May crossed, they realized that it is not registered. What procedure should the company follow to get the charge registered? Would the procedure be different if the company realized its mistake of not registering the charge on 7th June instead of 2nd May? Please go through the question very carefully, and I want you to give me answers briefly. What should be the correct answer for question number 4? Everyone should think and answer this question. Good, good, good. Think and reply to this. Yes, students, what will happen? So first you will have to, any kind of case study based questions come. Very good, Rishabh Gupta. Om Krishnam. If charge is registered, then this very good, very good. Okay, now let's listen how you have to attempt and write the answer to certain questions. So first you will always define the relevant provisions. The charge in the present case was created on after 2nd November. So we will be following whatever the charge extensions are after 2nd November, that is within 30 days by paying the normal fees, next 30 days by paying the additional fees, and next 60 days by paying the ad valorem fees. Okay. Taking advantage of this provision, Renuka Soaps will get the particulars of the charge after satisfying, will file an application of the sufficient cause for not filing within 30 days. So now what will happen? Company realized its mistake on 7th June instead of 2nd May. Period of 60 days have already expired. Now clause B of second provision to section 77 subsection 1 will become applicable. That is, further period of time will be given along with the company will have to pay the ad valorem fees. So the first 60 days from the creation have expired on 11th May. Now the company limited will get the charge registered within a further period of 60 days from 11th May after paying the ad valorem fees. Company is required to make an application to the registrar for giving sufficient reasons for non-registration. Also, a declaration has to be taken, children, that the other creditors will not have any problem. Okay? Good. So application will be made to the ROC. 60 days time period extension will be taken. Ad valorem fees needs to be paid up. Good, Bhumika. Correct answers. All of you have solved it nicely. Rishabh. Khushbu, why within 30 days? 30 days and 60 days have already expired. Now additional 60 days time period will be given. Okay. So please do try writing down these kind of questions in your notebooks so that it gives you a good practice about how to attempt your questions in the paper. Now you have to write down true and false. The registrar is not bound to issue notice to the charge holder Acha, this is the satisfaction of charges. This we have not done. So please attempt the question number 5, second point. Registrar of charges may allow the charge holder or the company to file intimation within a period of 300 days. Again, it is for the satisfaction of charges. Leave it. This one we can do. You can try solving this one. Okay, you can refer to the presentation later on and solve these. You want to do more questions? Okay, Krish Private Limited on 7th May. Okay, everybody's saying yes. Krish Private Limited on 7th May obtained 25 lakhs working capital loan by offering the stock and accounts receivable as security and 5 lakhs ad hoc overdraft on the personal guarantee of a director from the financial institution. Is the company required to create charge for the working capital loan and ad hoc overdraft? So I told you these kind of things, floating charges can also be given. So you will give the definition of the charge. When company borrows by giving term loans and working capital loans by offering its property, then it has to get the charge compulsory registered under Chapter 6. Krish obtains working capital loans from financial institutions as security, so it has created a charge. Hence, for 25 lakhs, it is required to create a charge on it. And also, Krish Private Limited is not required to create. Why? Because it is ad hoc overdraft on the personal guarantee of director. So here you are giving a personal guarantee of director. Since the charge is always created on the property and personal guarantee is not a property, then this is not to be registered. Are you understanding? So you simply have to tell them that only for the property, the definition of charge tells you only on the property or assets of the company it has to be created. That charge only needs to be filed with the ROC, but not the overdraft point, because there the personal guarantee of director is given. So this is not a charge. Here the director is giving the guarantee. Now it is not a charge. Where only property is given 25 lakhs, that charge will be registered against with the ROC. Okay. Okay, try doing this one. Bose Limited is required to create a charge on one of the assets. However, the above charge could not be registered within the required 30 days. Now, tell us about the extension of time and procedure when the charge is not registered within 30 days. So what will happen? Again, extension of time limit. It should be supported with a declaration signed by company secretary that such extension is not interfering with the intervening creditors. Application will be made for taking the extension 30 days and further 30 days by paying the additional fees and further 60 days by paying the ad valorem fees. Okay. All right. Question number 9, please read and solve it. This is the last question that we are doing. Then we'll proceed to the satisfaction of charges. Question number 9, everyone should do. I'm looking to your answers. Star Limited is having an establishment in Canada. It obtained a loan, creating a charge on the assets of the foreign establishment. Can we have the charge on property situated outside India? Yes, ma'am, we can have a charge on the property situated outside India also. Company received a notice from ROC about the particulars of the charge created by the company on the property received situated outside India. Who all shall sign the property situated outside India? That is something that you have already discussed with me. Whether the contention of the company is correct or not, this is what you have to tell me. The company wants to defend the notice that it shall not be the duty of the company to register the charges created not located in India. No, this is not right. They have to get the charge registered. Company has obtained the loan. It is the duty of the company to get the signed charge registered, and also the charge needs to be verified, whether it is tangible or otherwise. Now, see how you have to attempt it. You will not simply write down the yes or no answer. The stand taken is not to register the charge is absolutely correct. The answers that you have given, that this is not correct stand taken by the company, that is correct. But this is how you have to attempt your answers, children. Always write your case study into 3 paragraphs, relevant provisions as per the provisions of the Companies Act 2013. Always explain what is the charge, what is the duty, section 77 ka jo bhi aapne padha hua, ek brief summary. Then tell them in the given question, company has taken a loan. It is his duty to get it registered. And at the third conclusion, on the basis of the above analysis and provision, we conclude that the stand taken by the company is not correct. Easy, simplified? Okay. Now let's move to another topic. If the time permit, you can go through these MCQs also later on. Let's start with the topic of deemed notice of charge. Rishabh, you should have seen the preliminary and other PDFs have been uploaded. Please check it today. And if still it's not there, let me know. Okay, Om Krishnam Gupta. Good, good, good. Bhumika, correct answer. Abhishek Singh. All of you have given the correct answer. Swati, Rishabh, Abhishek. Very good. When any charge on any property or assets or any undertaking is created, any person acquiring these property and assets shall deem to have the notice of the charge. Now, what is the meaning of deemed notice of charge? Again, here I'm going to ask my students a question. What is the meaning of doctrine of constructive notice? Do you remember reading about doctrine of constructive notice? What do we understand by that? Please answer me. We have read about doctrine of constructive notice in CA Foundation also. What is the meaning of? Yes, it means section 399. That's absolutely correct. That is that MOA and AOA, once they become public documents, they have been filed with ROC, they become public documents. Any person who is dealing with the company is bound to have read these documents. Similarly, it says once the charge has been created and it is posted on the MCA website portal, so it becomes a deemed notice. Everybody who is dealing with the company is bound to know about it. Okay. And here is the modification of charges, which is given in your study material. Please go through all these points. There can be any modification, pari passu charge is being modified, or any change of rate of interest, repayment schedule, anything by changing the terms and conditions, the agreement is changing, whatever can be the reason. Okay. So section 80 tells you about the deemed notice. Where did it go? Where is section 80 in your study? So it says that once the charge has been created in favor of your property, in favor of the charge holder, then it becomes a deemed notice. That means now everyone who is dealing with that company is aware about this charge. All the charges which has been filed with ROC, they are to be put on the Ministry of Corporate Affairs portal, and anyone who deals can find it out that any charge has been created against this property or not. It is known as the doctrine of constructive notice, means it's a deemed notice. Knowledge, notice means knowledge. So it is construed that everybody who is dealing, it becomes a deeming provision like a legal fiction. That means tomorrow, if you come and deal with my company and I tell you that this is my house, I'm going to give you I'm taking loan from you and I'm going to give the house to you as a security, then it is your duty, if you're dealing with me, the lender's duty, to go and check on the MCA website portal whether the house that Harleen ma'am's company is giving, whether it is free from any charge or already any charge has been created. Now, Abhishek Singh, your question of that second charge comes into picture. So, sir, the second party, whosoever the lender is giving you money, it is his duty under section 80 to check whether the charge, because charge has already been registered. So it says certificate of fresh registration registered with ROC will already be there with the MCA website portal. So you can go and check over there. So any charge registered, whether it is CHG2, that is a fresh registration, or CHG3 modification, both have to be registered with the ROC and they both have to be filed at the MCA website. Any person should verify it that whether any asset has already been registered or not. If he enters into transaction without making any query and later on suffer the loss, he cannot claim the compensation by saying that he had no notice about this charge. Now, there was a SBI bank whom I am giving the second charge for the same loan. Okay. Okay, fine. Yes, that's correct, Kushbu. Now let's understand what I'm trying to explain you with. So SBI did not inquire whether there was any charge already created in favor of HDFC Bank or not. And then they suffered loss. How did they suffer loss? Because HDFC Bank has given us huge money, and all of the money was secured and they claimed it from the security. SBI Bank started crying that we never knew that security is not ours. The charge has been created. So law said, now don't come and tell us that we don't know. Section 80 already is there in the Companies Act. There is a deeming provision. It is assumed that if you're dealing with a company, you are required to read the MCA website portal. You're required to verify. It is your duty to verify it from the MCA portal whether this asset is free from any charge. You cannot crib later. Compulsory registration of the charge act is a method of preventing the same act. That's why it is a compulsory registration. This is the reason why this chapter has been made, so that you can avoid giving the same asset as a security to borrow the funds to avoid any fraudulent practices. Companies do at times give the same asset, provided there is a sufficient registered valuer will do the sufficient valuation. Money can be recovered from that security. But that's why if every company starts giving the same as security, then the lenders will be at loss. So that's why it is important to get the charge registered, and it should be there on the MCA website portal also. Okay, so you can read this as example number 5. It's good, important question. You must read this question from the study material. All the illustrations given in the study material should be done nicely too. Now let's talk about the register of charges. Okay. And all these notes will be available on the portal, so don't worry about it. Whatever chapters I have done with you, you will get acceptance of deposit, registration of charges, preliminary, whatever we have done, it will be uploaded on the portal. Okay. Register of charges to be kept by the registrar. So once you have created these charges, you have got that registered, a register will be maintained in respect of every company, keeping the particulars of the charges. So the way we keep the register of members, similarly, the register of charges have to be kept by the company. The particulars of these charges will also be kept at the MCA portal, so that it is a deeming provision that everyone is aware about the charges created against the property. Registrar will open to inspection by any person on payment of such fees. So other than the members, if anybody is coming, they can come and inspect the registers. So there is a company ABC Limited, they will keep a register of charges that against property A, this charge has been credited property B, and this copy shall be kept open for inspection. Anyone can come and check these copies after paying the relevant fees. Company's register of charges. Section 85. So this is registrars. Registrar has to keep one copy of register of charges, and company under section 85 will also require to keep the register of charges. So in form number CAG 7, first I want to show you the forms also. See, you also did not remind me. Don't you want to see the forms? You want to see the forms? You don't want to see the form. CAG 1 or CAG 9 we have for you. Okay. All right, I will show it to you a little later. I cannot. I will show you to after the second break. I will show you all the forms together. Okay. Company's register of charges. So company is also required to keep at the RO office a register of charges. Now this is a form CAG 7, which gives you all the details about what charges has been created, what is the value of the property, what is the amount. CAG 7 is the form in which the register of charges shall be maintained, and this copy has to be maintained at the RO of the company. The register of charges shall be open for inspection only during the business hours. So during business hours, this copy shall be kept open for inspection. Anyone can come and review the copy of this charges. By member and creditor without any fees. So if I'm creditor of your company, I don't need to pay any fees in order to inspect this books of charges. But any person other than the member and creditor needs to pay the fees. Subject to reasonable restrictions means companies in its articles of association can put any number of restrictions. There is no stoppage in that. Company is free to do that. Is that clear, children? So one register, section 81 registrar is keeping the register of charges. It is also open for inspection, and here the company is keeping its register of charges, and at the RO, CAG 7 is the form which you have to remember. And if member is coming, do the members need to pay the fees if they want to inspect the register of charges? Hurry up, tell me. Do the members need to pay the fees? No. Do the creditors need to pay the fees? No, ma'am. Any other person other than member and creditor? Yes, ma'am, they will have to pay the fees. What is the fees? As may be prescribed means whatever is written in the act, you have to pay that fees. And articles can impose restrictions also. Company will enter the names in the register particulars with the registrar, the property, assets. So the provisions of Rule 10 tell you what all details have to be entered in the register. Company will enter all the details related to all the register charges which has been created, all the property against which the charge has been created, subject to the charge, as well as any modification and satisfaction of charges. So whether we have mod satisfaction means you have repaid the loan and now your charge gets free. So whatever modification in the terms and conditions happened, whatever satisfaction happened, each and every detail will be given under CHG 7. Entries made in the register shall be after the creation. After the charge has been created, modified or satisfied, then only the entries will be made, and the entries shall be authenticated. Authenticated means shall be signed by the director or company secretary. They will make a sign so that every authenticated means they have verified that everything has been done correctly. And for how long the register of charges under section 85 shall be maintained? 5 years, 8 years, permanently, or for how many years? You have to tell me. It's your test. Very good, Om Krishna. Rishabh wrong. Khushi right. Swati is right. So permanently, this register of charges has to be maintained. There are only 2-3 registers in corporation and related to the register of members which have to be maintained permanently. Other than that, maximum time period for the register of other registers is 8 years. So please write it down in your notes whenever you're studying such kind of concepts where you know that it is only for few time period, few places only it is written. You should write it down separately in your notes. So register of charges is one of them which has to be preserved permanently, and the instrument and modification of the charges for a period of 8 years. So whatever the instrument, the document which the charge holder and the other person has signed, that shall be maintained for the period of 8 years. Okay. All right. Now let's move down to section 82, that is intimation. This is a little longer. So we'll do one small section and then we will take a break. Power of the registrar to make entries is also related section. Intimation of a manager or receiver appointed by the company. So let's do section 84 and then we'll proceed towards a small break. It says, section 84 says that sometime court passes an order that whatever property has been given as a security, that property needs to be taken care of. The property needs to be managed properly. So for the management of that property which is given as a security, sometimes court gives the order, or it is written in the instrument document, that is the loan document that we are signing together. It is written in that document only that a manager or receiver shall be appointed for this property which is given as a security. Now, if you have appointed that person as per court's order or as per the appointment letter that you have made, as per the agreement that you have made, then company will appoint such person and give a notice to the registrar within 30 days that this person has been appointed. Within 30 days from passing the order, appointment shall be made and ROC shall be informed within 30 days that this person has been appointed. Registrar will, on payment of the fees, after payment of the fees, register all the particulars of this person. He will, on making an application to the registrar, he will file all the application that all these people have been registered. On ceasing to hold such appointment, the person appointed above shall give a notice and the registrar will register such notice. Now, and once that person ceasing to hold means once that person goes, again within a period of 30 days, you shall inform the registrar that this person has now. So section 84 is very, very simple. 3 lines mein section 84 gets finished. Number 1, any appointment of receiver or manager to be made. Why it is being made, either it's court's order or it is written in your agreement that this person has to be appointed to take care of the property which is given as a security. Within 30 days, CHG 6 form, tell the registrar that this person has been appointed. If he is leaving the office, again intimate the registrar in 30 days that that person has left the office, he's gone now. So whenever you're doing any kind of things, the easiest part of this chapter is you have to remember the number of days and the forms. And trust me, children, deposits and registration of charges, dividend, all these small chapters, if you read them twice, you have understood it in the class, you have done revisionary class also with me. You revise it, sit down once and revise, you'll never forget it. हमें लगता है कि I'll forget it again and again, but the moment you open your books again, the recap starts coming in your mind when you do your revision. That is why revision is very, very important, giving it a new recap of the things that you have already taken a vision of. Okay, let's take a small break here and then we will be doing a very important section of satisfaction of charges, and I'll also look for the forms to show you all those forms. You have any doubts, you can ask me in meanwhile. Okay. All right, everyone, welcome back. Let's proceed towards the last topic, second last topic, in fact, for the day today. That is satisfaction of charges. Any doubts still here, children? Everybody is clear about the preservation of register of members, register of charges, and for how long we need to keep the instrument deeds and modifications for the period of 8 years, but the register will be maintained for permanently. Information regarding satisfaction of charge. First, let's understand the meaning of satisfaction of charge. So the word satisfaction of charge is very broad. It means once you have repaid the money, the security which has been given on which in which favor the charge has been created, it gets free from the charge. Now you can give that asset as a security to anybody else also, because the money is repaid, it is charge free. But the word satisfaction is little broader. It also includes anything else given in lieu of the loan. So I have given security as a property A, but then I told bank that, okay, I'm not giving you now security A, I'm giving you property B as a security. Can I say the satisfaction of charges also happened for security A? Tell me. If I have given property A as a security, now I'm telling the bank, I'm making modifications. I'm telling them now instead of A, you will get B property as a security. So it says that is also covered under the definition of satisfaction. Satisfaction happens when the amount is repaid. This is what I wanted to you all to read. Satisfaction happens when the amount is not repaid, but an asset of equal. Not just when the amount is repaid, but an asset of equal value is offered in place of the property released. Very good. Om Krishnam Gupta is the only one to answer yes, ma'am. What about others? Have you understood the meaning of satisfaction, children? I hope you all are back after the break. Are you taking a little longer break? Yes. So satisfaction means if the amount is not repaid, but an asset of equal value in place is offered, then also it released from the charge. And when this satisfaction happens, number one, you have to intimate the company. Now let's go to the notes. So you have to intimate. There's certain things which we have to, so the notes as well as the study material, both things have to be correspondingly referred. Each and everything from the study material has to be done very clearly, children. A company gives an intimation to the registrar in form number CHG4 within 30 days after payment of the fees. So in CHG4, if I have repaid, I have got the security free on 4th July 2023. So within 30 days from 4th July 2023, I need to file with the registrar an intimation that now this charge is free, this property is free from any charge. The registrar on an application by the company or chargeholder allow the payment of satisfaction to be made within a period of 300 days. Now, what is it saying? How much is the extended time period given? From 4th July, 30 days. So let's say, simple example, 1st July, the charge got free. By 31st July, I shall get it registered. Yes or no? Yes, ma'am. 30 days after 31st July. I failed to get it registered by 31st July. Then how much extension will be given to me? What will be the extended time period that will be given to me? It is the same time period as given before 2nd November 2018. So Bhumika and Rishabh Gupta has made that mistake. Swati has also made that mistake. I have asked how many additional days. Om Krishnam, now Swati has corrected. Bhumika, good. Abhishek Singh, Khushbu, absolutely correct. 270 days. 270 days. 270 days are the additional days. So 300, yes, Rishabh Gupta, excellent. So 300 days from the date of charge, you can get it registered. So 300 days are in totality given. First 30 days, if you have not done it, then additional 270 days, you shall register the satisfaction of the charges. Now, let me quickly ask you under section 78, when the charge holder was going and getting the charge registered, what was the ROC doing that time? I am a company. I was to register the charge in 30 days. I did not do that. Charge holder, the bank went to the ROC to get the charge registered. What did the ROC did that? Very good. Swati. Others. ROC sent the notice to company. Within 14 days, tell me the show cause notice why this charge should not be registered. Now, who is sending the intimation of satisfaction? Now, company's charge is free, everything is free. So, company is telling ROC, please free my charge. CHG 4, I am submitting with you that now this charge has finished. Please free my property. When ROC will receive this intimation, either in 30 days or the extended 270 days with additional fees. There is no ad valorem fees in this section. Section 82 में ad valorem fees नहीं है. 77, 78 में ad valorem fees थी. Section 77 में 82 में there is no ad valorem fees. Only two limits have been given: 30 days or 270 days more by paying the additional fees. ठीक है? Only difference between three, we could have taken total 300 days also. But what is the difference? Because 30 days के लिए normal fees है, 270 days के लिए additional fees. That's why they have taken it like that. Okay. So now ROC will send the notice to the charge holder. He will ask the bank, look, bank, this company is saying that we have make the charge free. Now, are you really satisfied? This charge has been paid off. Have the company actually repaid the loan? Can I do this? Can I remove the charge name in favor of the property? So again, now it will give, yes, Rishabh Gupta, very good. Now we are giving 14 days to the bank. This is how you have to learn it. Why I tell you, why I make so much effort in creating stories and trying to tell you it's law. It seems as if I'm telling you a story, but the way you learn it, when you remember it in the way of stories, it gets feed over here. You never forget it. And in the exam, when you're writing the papers, these stories keep coming back to your mind. Does this happen with you, or it only used to happen with me? Yes, very good. Excellent. All of you have written yes, ma'am. It happens with us. So yes, that is how you have to retain the things. So first you have to remember that within 30 days, tell the registrar, not 30 days, 270 more days. Okay, Om Krishnam Gupta says, if this happens with me in mock test also, very good. And then what happens? ROC will send the intimation to the bank or the charge holder telling them that please tell us within 14 days, shall we file this registration of satisfaction of charges or not? If he shows, if the cause is not shown, then very good, Rishabh Gupta. Now again, two things. If no objection has been received, ROC will register the registration of satisfaction of charges. And if the objection is received, then he will not register this registration of satisfaction of charges. Absolutely correct answers given by all of you children. All right. Everyone understood? If no cause is shown by the charge holder, then the registration will be done. If cause is shown, then he will not register. In what form the ROC is going to issue you the certificate of satisfaction? In form number CHG 5. So you file CHG 4, they send you CHG 5. You filed CHG 1 and 9, they send you CHG 2. You filed for CHG 1 and 9 again for modification, they send you CHG 3. You filed CHG 4, they send you, ROC will give you CHG 5, issue a certificate of registration of satisfaction of charges in form number CHG 5. For how long these records have to be maintained? Any records for the date of satisfaction of the charges needs to be maintained for the period of 8 years from the date of satisfaction. So from 1st July 2023, for 8 years, this record has to be maintained. Only the copy of registration of charges register we have understood has to be maintained permanently. Other records we have discussed in this chapter is for modification also, and for satisfaction of charges is for 8 years. And wherever these kind of points are written, highlighted with different kind of, highlighters in your study material. Because when you are just the due date of exam is approaching, you know that all the forms are in blue highlighter, all the important dates are in green highlighter, all the important provisions of preservation of registers is in yellow highlighter. So that I just quickly have to flip through the pages and understand what is written over there. All right, let's proceed ahead. Everyone clear section 82? Any doubts? This is your Saransh copy that I have pasted over here just to make it clear how beautiful this institute's presentations look, how they have decorated it for all of you so that you find the task and chapters so colorful when you're reading the summary. So company will give intimation of 30 days on the payment of the fees, otherwise 270 days on the additional fees. IFSC public company or private company within 300 days on the payment. Exception, no notice shall be given in case of the specified form and signed by the charge holder. Now, what does it mean? It says if this form that I'm filing with you, CHG4, I went to the bank holder and I told him, please sign this form CHG4, that this charge has been now fully paid off. Children, if I'm telling the ROC that this is the bank's signature, they are satisfied that I have paid off the money and my property is free now, do you think then ROC will send the notice for 14 days to the bank? So the only no, then it will not say. It's common sense. If it bank has already signed, then you don't need to go to the bank again. So exception means no notice will be given in case the intimation that you're giving to the registrar is already signed by the charge holder. Means अगर बैंक ने या charge holder ने भी उसमें sign करा हुआ है, then ROC will not give the show cause notice for 14 days to the bank. Very good. Bhumika, Swati, Om Krishnam, all of you, Rishabh Gupta, have been answering so nicely. Very great. All right. So let's move to another section, number 83, power of registrar to make entries for the satisfaction in the absence of intimation. Now, what does this section 83 tells you? 82, we have understood that now I have satisfied with my charge. I filed CHG 4 and you give me CHG 5. The charge is over. Now, what happens in section 83? Another story comes up. Now, ABC Limited has taken loan of 1 crore from HDFC. They have given the security. They are going and telling and filing the application. ROC is giving the application for 14 days notice. Everything was happening. Now, ABC Limited got the charge free. Satisfaction happened. The debt has either been paid off or the property has been released by whatever way the satisfaction happened. But ABC Limited forgot to tell ROC in absence of intimation. He was supposed to intimate now within 30 days. It says ABC Limited did not tell ROC. Somebody else went to ROC and tell, listen ROC, this ABC Limited, their charge has got free. He can be anyone. Either the person who is purchasing my property or somebody else who's related party or whosoever. If from any other person, no intimation has been received, but the registrar informed the affected parties, any other person, from any other person he comes to know that this property is now charge free. Please issue CHG 5 to the company. Then registrar will enter a memorandum of satisfaction and issue. The registrar will say, I have not received any intimation. So that person will say, maybe company has forgot, but now it is no longer having this charge on this property. So then he will issue CHG 5 even in the absence of the intimation from the company. This is just a power which has been given to the registrar that he on his own also, suo motu also, he can issue CHG 5. Either somebody else is telling him or he comes to know on his own, or he feels that yes, this is the right thing. No intimation has been given in the CHG 4, but still they can issue CHG 5. So power has been given to the registrar under section 83 that even in the absence of the intimation coming from the company, they can issue CHG 5, a certificate for the satisfaction of charges. What was section 84? We did it before going for the break. What was section 84? Tell me, hurry up. You have to answer me. What was section? I don't know why this is getting off in between. I hope I'm audible, students. What is section 84? Intimation of appointment of receiver and manager. Excellent. All of you are correct. So we are there again 30 days after informing him, after appointing him, and 30 days after he has left your organization. Punishment for contravention, section number 86. So last two sections of this chapter. If company makes any default in complying with chapter number 6 of the Companies Act, then what is the liability, children? Please tell me. Company will be liable for 5 lakh rupees and the officer in default for 50,000 rupees. Now, such tiny chapters where you only have 1 or 2 penalties, learn them. छोटी है ना penalties, PAS form में, prospectus वाले में so many penalties, share capital debentures, so many penalties, management administration, so many penalties. Try learning them, but this for sure you should learn them because when you have little amount, you should learn those penalties. So deposits and registration of charges, only 1 or 2 penalties you have, and just the forms that you have understood it very nicely. So you should learn all the forms and the penalties. And if any person is willfully giving the fraudulent information, you're trying to cheat anyone, you're doing any kind of suppressing of the material information, you're not giving the charge for registration under section 77, then what will happen? 447 will become applicable. जहां पे भी MCQ में fraudulent word लिखा आ गया ना, something has been furnished, information has been suppressed, and in the answer there is a word 447 section. In case of penalties, I'm giving you a hint. Go for 447 wherever there any willful, incorrect, suppressing of the material information, fraudulent activities being done, then 447 will always become applicable. Clear, children? Section 86, everyone clear? Punishment for the contraventions. Now the last topic, rectification by the central government of the register of charges. Now section 87 tells you that someday as 447 is related to fraud, it always applies wherever any fraud is happening. Before we proceed to section 87, any doubts, children? You want to ask anything, you want to raise hands, feel free to ask. Any type of doubts, because this is the smallest chapter, you should not lose marks in this chapter at all. Okay. No doubts? Everything clear? Okay, good. So section 87 tries to tell you when the central government, when do we go to an application? Okay, Swati, you want to ask something? Okay, ask. You want to speak? Okay, all right. Thank you, Khushbu. Everything is clear. That's great. Yes, Swati. Yes, definitely. In section 83, ROC will provide the show cause notice. ROC will send the notice to the charge holder that please give us the reasons. When we will go to the bank, please give us the reasons why we should not register the satisfaction charge. So in both the cases, in the first section 78, ROC is giving the intimation to the company for the show cause notice. 83, 82, 83 mein, 82 section mein, ROC is giving the notice to the charge holder, that is the bank, that tell us why the satisfaction shall not be registered. In section 83, there is no show cause notice, beta. In section 83, we are getting the intimation that this has happened. So there is no 14 days clause in section 83. All right? Okay. Okay. Section 87, central government to order the rectification of the register of charges. Now, if you feel that, so many harsh penalties of 5 lakhs will be applicable if you have willfully given any incorrect information or material suppression of facts have happened. So if you feel that some omission has been made, which was by mistake, or 30 days time period, you have asked for more extension of 60 days, there are certain omissions or misstatement, like you forgot to write the rate of interest in the charges that you're filing with it, or any omission or misstatement has been made in the particulars filed with the registrar. Such modifications have been made with respect to the satisfaction of charges. Any modification and satisfaction of charges errors have been made while filing that with the registrar under section 83 or under section 82. So it says law has given the permission to the company to go and take the permission of central government, so that instead of giving you a penalty, you can order the rectification. Rectification means corrections in the register of charges. So first question comes to our mind is, can we rectify the register of charges? It says, yes, you can rectify the register of charges only in the following cases of default. But how will it happen? Central government will give the order. So you have to go and make an application to the central government. Central government can allow the rectification if there has been any omission. Omission means you did not give, omit kar diya, aapne diya nahi, intimation to the registrar within the specified time. 30 days time, then 30 days, then 60 days at Waldron fees. You forgot to do all this, omitted to do this. Then take the permission from central government in order to make any rectification. If you had to do the satisfaction of charges or the modification of charges, you have not done it timely, you have not given the statements correctly, inadvertently, galti se aapse mistake nahi, you're not doing it intentionally. Intentionally you're doing it, then 447 is there. Willful word is there, then 447. Here you have done some mistake. You can request the central government, then please allow us to rectify the register of charges. Before directing that the time given for the intimation shall be extended or omission shall be rectified, central government needs to be satisfied that it was accidental or due to inadvertence or because of some other reasons. And it does not affect the positions of creditors and shareholders. Central government has to be sure that I hope other creditors are not getting affected because of this extension of time period that you're asking. Or if any omission that you have made, it was accidental, not janbujhkar, by mistake. Inadvertence means that it was not done intentionally. Then only central government will pass the order that yes, you can make the rectification in the register of charges. So what we have to remember under section 87, rectification can be done, yes. CG will allow it, yes. Only on these two cases, either omission has been made in satisfaction of charges or any misstatement for modification and satisfaction and intimation. And fourth point is, only if central government is satisfied that it was done accidentally and not janbujhkar, and it is not not affecting the position of creditors and shareholders. Point number 5, what is the application filed in CHG 8? Those are the last form of your chapter. CHG 8 shall be filed by the company or any other person who is requested for that. And the order of central government shall be on the basis as it deems fit. Whatever the central government thinks fit, it will be as per those orders. Is that correct? Section 87, all of you are clear? So this is the question for all of you. ABC Limited created a charge in favor of OK Bank. The charge was duly registered. Later, the bank enhanced the facility by another 20 crores. Due to inadvertence, this modification in the original charge was not registered. Please tell what course of action shall be followed by the company. Please think and answer this question. This is the last question for today's class, children. Please think it nicely and try to answer it. Charge has been created, it was registered, some enhancement has been done inadvertently. Okay, CHG 3, apply to ROC, registration, modifications. Okay. All right, good. So let's understand. Company is advised to immediately file an action for the rectification of the register. Okay, have you read the word due to inadvertence? This modification was not registered. So first step is absolutely correct. CHG 3 should have been issued by the ROC, but they have not filed the modification. Now they want the rectification. So if there has been any omission in giving the registrar about the payment of the charges or any omission, then you need to make an application to the central government. So here central government will step in. You will file the application in form CHG 8, not CHG 3 form you would be using. You will be using CHG 8 form. Okay. And then section 87, whole of it will, as it is, will become applicable. Yes, Abhishek saying absolutely correct answer. Khushbu correct. You want to do one more question? Okay. Ranjit acquired a property from ABC Limited, which was mortgaged to OK Bank. He settled the dues to OK Bank in full, and the same was registered with the sub-registrar, who has noted that the mortgage has been settled. But neither the company nor OK Bank has filed particulars of satisfaction with the registrar of companies. Can Ranjit approach the registrar and seek any relief with regard to this? So Ranjit has acquired the property now. No purpose of satisfaction of charge has been given. Straight away, section 83 will become applicable. It is so simple. Yes. Khushbu, Om Krishnam, absolutely correct. CHG 5 will be issued by the ROC. Ranjit will go. He will tell them that if evidence has been shown that the charge has been paid off, amount has been paid fully, or the property has been released, then this power can be exercised by the registrar, even if no intimation has been received by the company. Within 30 days, it shall inform that the entry shall be made and CHG 5 will be issued. Any doubts in this question? So with this, we come to an end of this chapter of registration of charges. I hope you have enjoyed the class, students, and you have understood it very well. If you still have any doubts, we have 2-3 minutes more. You can feel free to ask your doubts. You can ask me if you have any doubts. Otherwise, acceptance of deposits is also completely done. Your revision is over. Registration of charges is also done. So if you have any doubts, you can ask, but everything is clear. Yes. Oh, yes, Abhishek Singh. Good. Thanks for reminding me about the forms. We have to see the forms also. So meanwhile, anyone has any doubts, they can ask their doubts. I'm just opening the forms meanwhile. What is the form to be used for satisfaction of charges? Can anyone tell me? Very good. So this is your form number CHG4, which I'm going to show you. This is how it looks, CHG4 form, where you're filing it for the satisfaction of charges. All these details will be given. Section 82 reference will be given. Rule 81, what does it say? It will be given in detail. And how the instructions to fill this form, corporate and number, pre-fill button. All the details have to be given. Select whether you're the company or the charge holder who is filing it. CHG 8 has been to be filed in case of any delay. All these details. 11 pages form is there. So particulars of the company, what is the original charge, what is the subsequent modification, digitally signed by designation, company signing, company secretary, director, manager who is signing it. Attachments to be given along with that. So you can just have a look through. This is form number CHG4 that we are showing. So annexures are attached. For sample annexures they have given. Now let me show you a very important certificate given by the ROC, that is certificate for the satisfaction of charges. In which form it is given, children? The certificate. Form number CHG5. So this is how they will issue that memorandum of satisfaction of charges, corporate identity number, name of the company, CIN number. This is to certify that the company under Chapter 6 has complied with the provisions and they have paid the full. So this is a one-pager certificates that the ROC is issuing. वो जो आप form fill कर रहे हो, company is filling all the details. Here you are just filing it for the certificates. Khushi, you want to speak something? You want to ask? Okay. Then other forms I had for you is CHG4. We have already seen CHG4. Yes, another important form. What is CHG3? Can anyone tell me what is CHG3 form used for? Certificate of Modification of Charges. This is how it looks like, children. One-pager certificate of modification. This is how similarly CHG2 bhi aisa hi dikhta hai. If you have seen one of them, that's fine. Let's see the form. Meanwhile, I'm answering Khushi's question. Khushi is asking, 6 months from 2nd November means the period of sale. Yes, Khushi. So before 6th November 2018, 30 days, extended to 70 days. Even if on 2nd November 2018, still it has not been done, then additional 6 months time period is given for that time. Okay, but this is not the case for the cases after 2nd November 2018. Is that clear, everyone? So we have seen CHG3 also. We have seen almost all the forms. Yes, modification of charges, that was correct. So I hope you all have enjoyed the session and you have revised the things well. My humble request to all of you children, please do lots and lots of writing practice. That will help you to give more clarity to all the concepts. It was wonderful meeting all of you and teaching you. So goodbye for the day. I hope you don't have any more doubts. Thank you. Thank you, Abhishek. Thank you, Bhumika, Swati, Om Krishnam, all of you children. God bless you, Khushi, Khushbu, all of you children. God bless you all.